What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Nostalgically Hip Podcast. Here on Wednesday night, Ryan. What's going on, dude?
Nothing much, buddy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and stuff. So, I figured I'll let you go ahead and bring us in tonight while I do all the sheriffing and behind the scenes crap.
Okay, I think we're going to talk about your New Year in Disney World. Was it World or Land?
I don't know. Whichever one's in Florida. Hell, I don't know.
You know, somebody just told me the difference too. But anyhow, you were down in Orlando.
Yes.
You were elsewhere too. You were to Daytona. You were to Orlando. So I think we were going to talk about Disney, man, because Disney's kind of a hot topic right now. I don't know if you've heard the news. Well, I'm sure you've heard the news, but the new news that they're going to do another Star Wars. Did you hear that?
Actually, I did not.
Yeah, so they're going to do Rey. It's going to be about Rey because we didn't get enough of that first three. For the last three that were just fucking terrible.
Right.
They're going to do what I guess I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or just like a standalone movie. But they're going to keep doubling down because no one wants this shit at this point, and they're going to keep going ahead and making it even though you don't want it. Which I got my theories on that, but man, I don't know how they're doing it, dude. Other than you going there and spending all kinds of money there.
Oh, let me tell you what, dude. So again, I have nothing against the homosexual population. Live your life. However, there were queers everywhere, holding hands and kissing. I'm like, you know what? Live your life, but don't do that shit in front of kids, man. I don't want to see heterosexual couples doing that in front of kids.
Right, yeah, and they generally don't because it's not as interesting, right? It doesn't get that kind of attention. That's why they do it. Like, to me, I mean, like you said, live your life, be the best you. And but why? Why is it so fucking flamboyant all the time? Why is it so over the top?
I know.
And then the relationships only last like what, fucking 6 minutes, anyways. It's like shorter than a mayfly's life.
Why does it have to be a mayfly?
I don't know. Don't they live like 5 seconds? They like get to fly like 2 inches and then it die. It's like literally a night or some shit like that. The mayfly. Yeah.
Wow. Man.
Yeah, look into that. It's sort of interesting. I think they live like 24 hours or some shit, and then they die.
Mayfly. Yeah. Okay. Moving right along. I'm not in the mood to just talk entomology tonight.
Right. Yeah, I got it. Another time.
But no, seriously, man. Like these guys and gals, and some that I'm not quite sure, walking around with the Mickey Mouse ears, but instead of the normal Mickey Mouse ears, it's all rainbow colored and the rainbow this and rainbow. I'm like, come on, man. You know, give it a fucking break, you know?
Yeah, it's funny because it's like they completely. What was I was looking at something the other day, like screensavers or some shit on my phone, and it had a special category for like pride, and it was all colors. Like I don't know how the hell that became a thing, but they've been. Isn't it funny that everybody kind of gets typecast?
Well, you know, speaking of pride and the LGBTQRS elemental P community, Rick Schilling's in the room. What's up, Rick?
Hey, Rick.
Speaking of gay, what's up, Rick?
Is Rick gay?
Well, I mean, he will always be gay in my eyes, but now he's
right. Yeah.
Suspect, for sure.
Yeah, that's funny that they got it. They got their colors, but anyhow, I thought it was interesting that it's Pride. It was such a big thing on Pride, and maybe this just hit me the other day, but it was what do you? Well, we just of course you're proud, right? But why such an issue of it? Why pride, and you know what I mean? If you're proud, be proud, but what?
I don't. The only thing I can equate it to. What's up, Murdog? Murdog in the room.
Murdog.
The only thing, it's just a very weird coincidence. The Army birthday is in June, and Pride Month is June. Awful suspect.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
Yeah.
Murdog, I would bust his chops. He ended up retiring out of the Army, but he was a Marine for several years prior to, so I can't. I can't give him shit over it without giggling and knowing, because I know Murdog's had a blast. In fact, he says yes, fuck the Army. Hey, what's up, Tony? Either you suck, motherfucking dick, or you don't. Period. I couldn't agree with that anymore.
Right.
It goes back to the Andrew Dice Clay. He hit it on the.
Was it the coin toss?
It was.
So do that for me, because you do that pretty good. Do it.
I don't get this whole bisexual thing. You either suck dick or you do not suck dick. What do you wake up in the morning, flip a coin, heads it, hair pie, tails it, balls across the net.
But they were everywhere. You're saying, like they were just
everywhere. It's like you couldn't swing a dead cat and not hit one.
No shit. Wow.
But whatever.
Well, Disney's kind of pushes that life, right? They're kind of, that's their thing now. That's their crowd. The 2.6%. That's who they want as their fans, apparently.
I wouldn't say they're kind of pushing it.
I think
it's a full-fledged frontal assault.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's crazy, man. It's almost like they're allergic to money now. It's like they just said, you know what? I got too much fucking money. We don't want any more. We're gonna go for the marginalized crowd.
Well, they're suffering there. I don't know if you looked at they took a huge hit.
Well, their stock's down over, like it was, I think in 2022 it was at like $190 a share. Now it's at, I think it's well under 80, right? So it's maybe early 70s, maybe lower.
It's a ripoff, man. It's so expensive to try to get in, into the park itself. And Universal is just as bad, because it was $180 per person before tax, and after tax it came out to about $200. So we tried to go to ITT, which is military ticket agency, where you get discounted tickets for a bunch of stuff. They were closed for the holidays, so I was like, I'm willing to pay $400 for us to get in, but I wasn't willing to pay $800, and so we ended up not going into Universal. It ended up being okay, because there were so many people, so crowded. The lines were ridiculous anyway. So we walked around the outside, the free portion, where all the shops were. We had just as much fun doing that.
Yeah.
And since we couldn't go in.
You mean you had more fun not spending a fortune?
Right. But we let the kids pick out something out of the stores, and of course it's ridiculously marked up. But yeah, we didn't go in, so we had to give them something.
Was the stuff they picked out, was it all rainbowy too, or
no? Be safe, brother. My buddy Tony in there, he's the man, quite literally. He works for our Oklahoma Highway Patrol.
Okay.
But be safe out there, man. Get them idiots off the road. But going back to Universal, I gotta make sure I keep this close because of the sound issue. It wasn't as crowded as Disney was, and I think because they charge you $30 parking just to get in there. So Disney didn't charge you anything. But Disney was a madhouse, man. I'm telling you, my anxiety was so high. It just mobs and mobs of people. And there's a lot of foreigners there, and they don't have the same customs as we do. A bunch of rude motherfuckers. And I was close to losing my shit. Real close. But the things we do for our kids.
Yeah. Sacrifices we make, and then they hate us.
Yeah, right. Good, move out already. But I'm 8.
Yeah. Dude, I got my kid. Did we do the? No, we haven't done one since Christmas. But I got my son. We did a bunch of I got my mom, brought her down, and we sat. Of course, we're in that temporary housing. We got a little tiny. It's like basically a townhouse, and it's rough on everybody, being kind of displaced. But my son, man, everyone was happy, and then my my daughter made me a card saying thanks for, keeping everything, doing your best effort to make this a great Christmas, and which made me freaking really broke me. I was like, I get freaking jerked. I was tear jerking. I'm like, oh my God. And she hugged me, and then my son, he was kind of the opposite. He was all upset and feeling sorry for himself, and we had to talk about it later because he lasted the whole day. He was all kind of moody and pissed off, but it was rough for him, and it showed, being displaced and not getting the things that he wanted or having his computer. But it was funny, man, because it's like you do everything for your kids, and they're still, doesn't matter, they're still let down by you. It doesn't take much.
They, believe it or not, will appreciate something. It's just not going to be for a long time.
Oh,
High tech in the room. High tech, man. He says, try taking 12 kids out to eat. Look, dude,
no.
That is 100% your fault.
Yeah.
Tie a knot in that trunk, bitch. What you do?
I could pull out, dude. Jesus.
Right? My God. I don't know how you do it, bro. I really don't.
What was that book? I seen a coffee mug a couple years ago. It said it was on Father's Day, and somebody gave it to their dad. Said her husband said, "You pull out games a week."
Sorry. Even though my mic was muted, yours wasn't on that one.
I got all that, buddy. Yeah, but it was funny because you do everything for me, take every sacrifice, and then you're still somehow or another. My daughter, man, she hit me hard with that because I was like, I got fucking choked up. Like, my mom's there, and then of course they kind of get teary-eyed, but it's been such a hard month for us that it just really kind of hit when she wrote that, and it was such a sweet little card. And then, my son ended up, like I said, he apologized later, and just, I don't know what was wrong, Dad, and no big deal. But it was kind of hurt a little bit on Christmas, but it's funny, man. You can't please everybody,
Well, number one, you already feel guilty as hell.
Yeah.
And you haven't had time to really decompress,
right,
and take everything in. And we're a month out now, so I'm not surprised that you got choked up.
Yeah,
it's a good thing, man.
Right,
it's healthy, And so many times we, especially guys our age and guys that are watching in the room now, we've been brought up that men don't show emotion,
mm-hmm.
And that's gonna hurt us for a long, long
That's
time.
why we're dying inside. Yeah. My daughter was making fun of me later, and she goes, I go, what are you talking about? She goes, when you got teary-eyed, and I go, what are you talking about? And she goes, I seen it. And I go, no, you didn't see nothing. And I go, why are you making fun of me? And she goes, because I've never seen that before, Dad. And I'm like, Jesus, that's really okay. But I fucking cry in my pillow all the time. Why me? But
in the shower,
in the shower,
kitchen,
in the kitchen, they just don't see it. Yeah. I went up to my son later, and I said, he was apologizing. I said, all I wanted, man, was like, because they asked me, like, what do you want for Christmas? And I go, I just don't get me shit. Spend it on yourselves. And that's what I was telling them. Just get it, spend it on yourself. Get the kids extra shit for me. Right. Make it a good Christmas. And I said, all I want is everybody to just have a smile on their face and have a good Christmas. And I told my son that. I go, you can do that. You were like, couldn't just fake it.
You should have got him a hooker.
Yeah.
That'd put a smile on his face.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
As long as she came with a game controller or something.
Yeah, I don't think kids care about that shit anymore. If I'd have sold that, what did we have? I think it was probably Nintendo. I would have sold that thing 10 times over for a piece, but
in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'd have burned it.
And then I'd have begged for it back later.
I was watching some game he was playing. I walked by him. He had it on his computer. I said, God dang, don't leave the games all the time. They're freaking 10 times better than what we had.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a freaking movie.
It is.
Yeah.
They're stories. A lot of there's games out there that are storylines, and it is. The graphics are so good. The stories are so well written now. You'd almost rather prefer playing a game than going to a movie.
Yeah, you're actually interacting in it.
Right. Instead of getting told that, hey, Little Mermaid is now black. I'm just gonna say this. Come on, man.
She's always been black, right? I've never seen. Let's get back to Disney because.
Well, this is Disney. Ariel. Little Mermaid.
Yeah, that's the thing, dude. I never fucking seen any of those movies. I hear all this shit. Disney's this, Disney's that. I grew up with Disney. They were like fucking bankrupt every other year. Remember Black Cauldron? Remember that fucking turd? They released that what 78, and like there was what Bugs Bunny, you had maybe not Transformers yet, but you had all the good shit. And then they try to keep up. You had Star Wars and Space 1999 and all of that. And theirs was shit.
Tron.
Tron came out and we were all psyched up for it. And I like Tron for the nostalgic reasons, but that was a turd. I mean, it was a fucking long turd. Yeah. And they never really, where the fuck did they get this status from? Mickey Mouse? That stupid fucking mouse? You know? And now he's public domain, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's more news for Disney.
I've heard, I think I read an article the other day, something to the fact that there's a horror movie out now with Mickey Mouse in it.
Yeah, they should make like gay porn with him now. The gay mouse. Yeah.
Hey, wait for it. It's right up their alley.
Yeah, the gay mouse. They can do all that shit. Rainbow shirt. Yeah.
Dude, seriously, I'm not gonna go. It's just it's getting ridiculous. It's just retarded at this point. Yeah. Oh, there's another reason for me to get flagged and put on a watch list because I said retard.
Yeah.
I mean, if you prefer, I use the term 8-pound waterhead.
And look, we were just talking about that the other night because somebody said it's probably me, and my family was telling me to cool it down, and that was a word, right? That was what everybody said, and it wasn't. It was just it wasn't a fucking scientist. Was it science? Am I saying to? I'm probably wrong here, but didn't doctors say that? Like, wasn't that like a medical term?
It is mental retardation.
Yeah. Okay. Right. But how the hell did that become such a thing?
Because it hurt somebody's feelings. Because you're fucking being retarded right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sesame Street too? Yeah. Sesame Street. Oh my God.
So what do they want now? Is it Down syndrome? What do they say? Mentally challenged? What is the word?
Yes.
Look, I get it. If something offends people, I don't want to offend them. I wouldn't say that. And I feel for those people.
I'm going to say this. If you've never been around a person with Down syndrome,
mm-hmm.
You're missing out. Honestly, because those are some of the most loving people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Unconditionally, and they're just, every one of them are just as sweet as they can be. But, you got to have a little humor in the world, too.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I don't think that, I've never known anybody that's made fun of them or really meant anybody with Down syndrome or whatever it is ill will. I think everybody feels sorry for them, at least most people that have a heart or are human.
And you're not making fun of that person. You're making, like, if I call you a retard, I'm just making fun of you.
Yeah.
It's not the individual that happens to be suffering from that condition, but we're just too sensitive, man. Yeah. Let me tell you a cool story. So we're walking down into Universal. We just got through the gates, and kind of the kids are ahead of me, and I'm walking with Alma, and I look to my right, and I see this dude. We make eye contact.
Was there rainbow colors?
No. We served together. I hadn't seen this guy in 11 years, man. And it's just like, the world is so small.
Yeah.
And we caught up for a couple minutes. And Spencer, if you're listening, bro, it was great to see you. And man, I wish we had more time to catch up, but you just never know, man. It's a small world. And that's another reason why Connie calls me the mayor. Yeah, I can't go anywhere with running into somebody I know. So,
right. Yeah. Well, you were in the military for a long time, right?
Yeah,
so
a day or two.
Fucking clowns spreading out all over the place.
Mm-hmm. And I try to spread my seeds, but never mind. Bruce says, "How about nerd?" I don't know. I mean, that's not real to me. That's not offensive.
Nerd?
Yeah.
No, dude, fucking nerds are cool. It's a term of endearment, really. And that kind of started with that show, Revenge of the Nerds. Remember? Because that actually did bring the nerds back, and you had multiple shows came out. And then the Big Bang Theory got real popular, and it became cool
to be a nerd.
To be a nerd, right? Yeah.
I've never had issues with somebody a nerd. I mean, I may not have anything in common with them, but whatever.
Now, you're not doing yourself justice unless you've been around one time or another in your life a real nerd.
Oh, I've been around a lot of
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's painful.
We were just talking about this.
I think I told you this story, but as a matter of fact, I might have told it the last time we were together, but if I have, stop me. When I got promoted to lieutenant, my last rank, I got off shift, and literally across the parking lot from the ER was the officers club. So I went over there and we tied one on. And I come back through because I left my bag and my stuff at the ER. And it was dead that night. So all these corpsmen, they're not even working. They're not on shift. They're in there hanging around in the ER around this computer. And this poor female corpsman was on duty. She's there amongst these idiots. And I walk in, I'm tanked. And they're like, hey, sir, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're talking about robots. I'm like, what?
So hold on real quick. If I let you go halfway through the story, then stop you and tell you that I've heard it, will you stop?
Maybe.
Okay. Go.
Have you heard it?
I haven't. That's all right. Let the people. You told me, you didn't tell the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, keep going.
So anyway, I'm like, what are you guys doing here? So we're talking about robots. I'm like, fucking robots, fucking nerds. And I'm walking around. They're like, well, what's wrong, sir? Who doesn't like robots? I said, I don't. And they're like, why not? And again, I was drunk. I didn't see her there at first. I'm like, because I like pussy. And she starts laughing. And the rest of them are like, oh.
Yeah. She's like, they don't.
No.
They don't.
Well, most of them probably hadn't had pussy since pussy had them. So
yeah. Yeah. Oh, I told you because after that conversation, we were talking about that. And I said, yeah, I've dealt with that. Like on forums, sometimes I'll get on those, I get those figures and shit I'll collect. And I'll get in there, dude, because I can talk with anybody about anything. Okay. And it's funny because like these, I know sometimes I'd like to know like who they are, but you kind of know already.
Right.
But it's hard to believe. It's like, I'll play the game, but then it's like, oh, these guys are fucking dead serious. They can't not be like this. They'll be like talking about action figures. It's like, oh, this is all you think about.
It's
this
like a part-time thing for you, but it's their life. It consumes them.
Consumes them like details, like the fucking shit. Like, say there's a figure released and they're gonna send it with some weapons or something like that. They'll be talking about, oh, I hope they send it. I hope they have the M60. Like if there's a John Wick figure or something. Oh, but in 4 he had that shotgun, and I hope they send that shotgun. And they're like, oh, it's in there. And you'll see them talking. They'll be like, oh, they're really, but I don't think that's the same make. And they'll fucking look it up. And I'll just read through this list and go, oh my God.
What's wrong with these people?
And they'll go, well, here it should have been like this model. And they'll actually have a backup model from another figure that they bought one for. And they'll take a picture of it. It's something. And then they'll like pose them and take pictures of them. And they'll say, I can't quit messing with the lighting. And they'll like, do you know how you do your videos? But they'll be like taking these action figures and they'll like pose them, and they'll take like shots at certain lighting. And it's like right there, you have a vagina allergy.
I really can't fault them though. Everybody's got their thing.
Sure, yeah.
And you know what? You're not hurting anybody, so.
No, they're not hurting anybody, but it is funny because like I don't get that detailed about really anything. It's like to break that shit down to that level and go, well, it's pretty accurate except for the model that he had was a peacemaker. And that didn't come along until after that. If you look in the movie, like they'll base it like that, it's like, wow, you
look at episode or volume 3.
Yeah.
Dude, 1978 edition.
Yeah. And if they got wives, dude, all I see is I could just picture tumbleweeds blowing through their wives' bridges, like just dry as the desert.
Or the worst, their wives are out there banging everything else.
You'd have to be, unless you were just as big a fucking nerd. And I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. But I think when you get to that level, like we talked about this, there's shit like, that's not shit you and I talk about. That's a certain, and you can't talk to any woman. Like, so like for the longest time, I would go buy, you've seen them, a lot of those old figures I bought from my childhood.
Right.
and I have it in boxes. And that's not, if you like girls, you don't talk about that.
Right.
You keep that shit. You keep that completely separate, and then you keep it in boxes. Like my shit finally came out. I've been married for it's gonna almost be 20 years, and it's finally just started making its way out right before the fire hit. But like that shit's like you take that shit to the grave with you in a lot of cases. I mean, you can't like vagina and action. Yeah, you can't like. I should have a shirt made up. You can't like action figures and vagina at the same time.
Yeah.
Can you?
You're
getting one or the other, but you're not getting both.
If you're asking me, no.
Yeah, you're not getting both.
Hey, if there's anybody in the room listening and you have a comment on that, call the show. The number is right there on the screen. 478-90449. Call in and talk with us and tell us what you think. Do you get pussy and you play with action figures?
We already know the answer to that.
Oh.
Hey, he says the 40-year-old, who is that? Alejandro Perez says the 40-year-old virgin.
Yeah.
And do you remember that movie when they go, is this fucking Oscar? Is this? It was Oscar Goldman doll. He goes, is this Steve Austin's boss? This fucking Oscar Goldman. You know what's funny? I've been looking at those for like years, but picking up an Oscar Goldman, and every time I look at one, I'm thinking, Jesus, like, you're that fucking guy.
I'd rather just either buy another gun or more camping gear. Oh,
yeah.
So, dude, I was thinking, man, you know what? Kids are going to be, in 3 years, I'm losing the Jeep.
Okay.
Actually, not in 2 years because Isabella turns 14 in April. So in 2 years, I'm losing the Jeep. So I'm thinking, what am I going to get? Well, why not a pickup truck?
Mm-hmm.
Get a pickup truck, and then I'm thinking, dude, I want to get one of those in-bed campers. Because as much as I'm traveling, and I'll pull over and I'll take a nap in the back of the Jeep, but man, it's just not very comfortable.
Oh, you mean the truck, and you put a camper on it with
the big in-bed campers, not like a camper shell, but it's a no shit. It's
it goes on the truck.
Yeah,
like.
And man, I tell you what, I was looking online the other day, just looking. Some of those are real nice.
Yeah, they're probably expensive as shit, too, right? Yeah.
But I'd get a used one.
Then you can stay at the truck stops and get like gay hand jobs and shit.
Wait, is that bad?
I was gonna say before I even said it, I was thinking, "Fuck, he's probably done this."
Is that wrong?
No.
Am I giving the hand job or am I?
Of course not, but like toys, and you keep that to yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, man. Honestly, what I would do is probably pull over in a Walmart party, sleep for the night.
Don't they not the cops knock on your fucking see what you're doing?
No, but you have to get permission from the manager. Okay. So, when I had the fifth wheel, I would do that too. Instead of pulling in a truck stop, because they're fucking noisy. They're all lit up, and safety is a concern.
So what if you took the trailer you've got? What size is that trailer?
That's a small trailer. It's 4x6.
4x6. Okay. What if you got a bigger one? Right? Like I was just looking at them yesterday. Say a 7x12. You just fucking jack that baby up like a room, right? Yeah, and you put like a bed in the corner, and you fucking,
I could do that, but the whole purpose would be to get the camper in the bed. I could still pull that trailer behind me.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Yeah. That sounds kind of ridiculous, right?
No, there's a lot of people that do it. They convert them over, conversion trailers.
Yeah, you could just carry your shit along, pull into it, wherever it is you pull in at.
Yeah. The only reason I wouldn't, I actually thought about that, but the only reason I wouldn't do it is because then I'd have nowhere to pull my gear. I'd have nowhere to put my gear.
Couldn't you put it on top of the Jeep? Jeep top? Get a cargo thing?
Well, I wouldn't have the Jeep.
Well, if you could Jeep.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get a truck. You don't want to trade in the Jeep for a truck.
I'm not going to. Well, my whole point is the kids will get the Jeep.
Yeah, you got to get another one then.
Possibly. Maybe.
Yeah, this is the best.
Because I still, the caveat will be whenever Daddy wants to take the Jeep, he's taking it.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, man, the trip I took in November, man, it sure would have been nice to have a bed to sleep.
That would be perfect for you too.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
I don't know. Just ideas that run through my head.
Mm-hmm.
Because we saw a couple really nice ones on the drive up. So, hey,
that would be, yeah. Yeah, that'd be perfect for you. I'm surprised you haven't done something like that. I'm surprised you hadn't thought of that. As much as you like to get out and travel and.
Well, I had the fifth wheel before, and so that was great, man.
Yeah.
But whatever. Fifth wheel, I have nowhere. I wouldn't get another fifth wheel because I wouldn't want to get a truck big enough to have to pull it. It's diesel. Diesel's freaking ridiculous. I could either do gas or diesel in the truck, but I prefer to do the gas.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a 1500. That's big enough to put an in-bed camper. I think on average, I think I've seen some of them that are probably about 3,600 to 4,000 in gross vehicle weight.
Mm-hmm.
So that 1,500 will handle just fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just towing capacity, right?
Yeah.
So you need, like, our Jeeps don't have shit for towing capacity. That's the bad part, because the wheelbase is so, we're more for maneuvering, getting up shit. And,
I'm going to pretend like you didn't even say that. High tech, go electric.
You could.
But then again, it goes right back to the robots and pussy. Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah. So the nerd things, I don't think that's a really big. That could be kind of cool, actually. Today, it's the nerds that are really pissed off about this whole Star Wars, all that shit. They're pissed because that was their thing, and Disney's fucking ruining it.
What you need to do is when you talk to one of them there, just start talking about Star Wars and just keep bringing up Star Trek characters in it. Watch their heads explode.
Now, we've talked about Star Trek on one of our episodes.
Yeah.
And I told you that I'd never seen it. Not one episode.
That's crazy.
Not one, dude.
Not even one of the movies.
Yeah, I did see the movie. I seen as a kid, like the ones that were popular. They were just out. I can't remember.
The ones in the 80s.
Yeah, and I remember the Wrath of Khan, I think it was. They put the bug in the ear.
Yeah.
And I like that because they put that fucking bug in there. So that was crazy to me. But no, I never seen the show. And actually, I think we talked about MASH. And I was like, I never liked it. When I was at that Staybridge, that fucking suite over there, like, I just was, zoned out. So I'd get up every morning and turn on whatever they had on TV. And it was TV Land or something. And MASH was always on. And I left it on. And it seems okay. I didn't really pay much attention, but
I was never a big MASH fan. Now my parents watched it
so did mine. Yeah, my dad did. He loved it.
I never got into it. I've watched some Star Trek episodes. That again, never really got into that either. Because I was more out doing sports and being outside. Like girls. And
you like,
yeah,
right. I think it's hard to like, again, Star Trek and girls.
Well, it's liking girls got me hard, that's for sure.
Right. Maybe that's a common factor. Did you watch Star Trek? And if you did, you didn't like pussy.
Could be.
Yeah. But I like Star Wars.
It's like the gateway drug for nerds.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I think you can like Star Wars and like pussy.
I loved Star Wars, the original movie that came out in 77.
Yeah, that's awesome. Right?
Like that, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. But I could not get into any of the newer shit.
It's because it sucks.
Yeah.
It's because it's like all, somebody said it best that, what was it? Somebody on YouTube said it's a girls brand. Now, Disney, Star Wars. So there's a difference. There's Star Wars, and then there's Disney Star Wars.
Yeah.
So we'll get back into the Disney thing. There is a difference in Star Wars. Disney Star Wars is not the Star Wars you and I grew up with. It is a girl brand, and it's kind of like. Do you remember? I was telling a buddy about this today. Remember, when Barbie will do those things like Barbie is Pretty Woman, is Julia Roberts or something like that, and they do with Gone with the Wind and Rhett Butler, Ken's Rhett Butler, and she's Scarlett O'Hara.
That's kind of Barbie.
Yeah, Astronaut Barbie. That's kind of like Disney Star Wars is. It's like Star Wars characters that are Barbie. But it's women. It's a girl brand. It really is a girl brand now.
Harry Potter. Again, I never got into that either. But
I've never seen them.
When Harry Potter came out, though, even the books,
Did you read the books?
No, I was already an adult.
Adults were reading those books, though. They were reading those things like crazy.
They are, but to me, it was kid stuff.
I thought so too, but I know a lot of people that you should read them. Did you ever hear that? Because you're a reader.
Yeah.
And you'd hear you should read those stuff. They're good. No, thank you. I'm reading adult books.
I gave it up for that.
Right.
Anyway, but again, it's a big franchise and people really enjoy it. And hey, more power to you. If that's something you like, stick to it, man. The problem, even with that stuff, but I'm going to kind of go with 30,000 foot view with this. The problem in my mind is if you like it and it works for you, great. Don't tell me I need to, I have to watch, say, do whatever. Do your thing. If you expect me to respect your wishes, you need to respect mine and leave me out of it. Don't tell me how to talk, what I can say, what I can't. And basically how I have to feel, in general. But yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. Just do you. If you're into that stuff, man, good on you. But don't cram it down my throat.
Yeah, what's funny is for years, like I was always, like I said, we've talked about this, I'm always late to the game. So people would tell me how good something was, and then I wouldn't find out like 10, 20 years later, and I'd be like, fuck, that was good. And they'd be like, yeah, I seen that 20 years ago. Did you know how good it was? Yes, 20 years ago I did.
Right.
It's always like that. I was always late to the game on that. Speaking of which, I went back the other day. I introduced my son and my family, actually. We sat down and watched Field of Dreams, man. Oh, that is such a good... Man, they could make movies back then. No joke, dude. They could really... that's a great movie.
I love that movie.
You don't even need to like baseball to like that movie. It's so good, and it's about faith. It's about having faith. It's heavenly. There's aspects of the dreams and ketchup and makeup and shit like that. But dude, it's a great movie. I don't think they could do that today.
It's an amazing story.
Yeah.
They could have made that about anything. It just happened to be about baseball.
But they couldn't make it today. They could not make that. They don't. First off, it's an hour and 45 minutes. It's fucking unbelievable that they got the point across in an hour and 45 minutes and didn't. Today they first off they need 3 hours to do that movie because they need at least an hour and a half to talk about social commentary.
Well, Kevin Costner's role would have to be reprised and played by a Puerto Rican lesbian woman.
100%. And to top it off, yeah, like you couldn't mention, because there's mention of faith, there's mention of it's heaven. Is this heaven? It's mentioned like twice in it. They wouldn't do that today.
No.
They wouldn't do that today because it would be categorized as a Christian film, and they wouldn't air it. It wouldn't be shown in theaters. That movie could not be made today. And it's a great movie, but there's no fucking way they could make that movie today.
Well, it's just like, what's the movie you were telling me about? The one with, what's his name? James Caviezel?
Sound of Freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same principle.
Yeah,
you mention faith, and you are automatically blacklisted by Hollywood.
Yeah, and that's the, dude. I'm not the most religious guy in the world. Never have been, but I wasn't ever offended by it. It never threatened me. It wasn't like, they're talking about God. Well, here's where I turn off.
That's what blows my mind about atheists. If you don't believe, that's cool. But why do you get so upset?
Yeah, don't work so hard at not believing.
Right.
Right. If you don't like something, like I hate onions.
Right.
I fucking hate them. I have never went on a movement to get people to fucking stop eating onions.
Right.
Never. I don't stand outside a fucking hamburger joint and say, we won't take you shouldn't eat onions. I've never given it another thought. You like onions? Great. You like onions. I'm not going on a fucking, I'm not going to write a book about onions and why you shouldn't like them.
If you do decide to do something like that, let me know, and I'll get my Onions Lives Matters and I'll stand right across.
Yeah. Isn't that something that some people can hate something so much and they just go on? Yeah, that's like religion, and it's kind of the same aspect. But dude, back to that, you could not, and not even just because of the heaven thing. The heaven thing, the faith thing, that's one part of that they wouldn't do it. They'd have to put something else in there like social justice or some stupid shit like that that no one cares about with them. But they couldn't do it because they don't have the creativity to. That covers a lot, man. He goes and they have to think outside the box. There's a whole story there at the beginning. You think it's somebody telling you to build the field for Shoeless Joe, and it turns out it's Shoeless Joe telling him to build the field for his dad. They couldn't fucking write that. There's no way they could write that. They couldn't think that up.
There's no originality in Hollywood anymore.
Yeah, and if they could do it, if they were able to put that on film, it would take a 3-hour movie, because they'd have to sit there and go, right? You know what we mean here. They'd have to walk you through the fucking shit. They couldn't do it in an hour and 45 minutes. There's no way in hell.
Well, they treat you like you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They'd have to sit there and point everything out to you, and then they'd have to tell you if that's what you were thinking, you were wrong. And whatever you did in the 80s was probably racist. And it was probably bad. So we're not talking about that. That's for sure. Speaking of which, some crazy shit, because I was thinking of Spielberg for some reason. I was thinking about E.T. when I was saying that. Like, E.T. couldn't get made today. There's no fucking way they could. E.T.'s great, right? What is that, an hour and 30 minutes?
I don't remember. I do remember seeing it in the theater.
Yeah, I did too.
As a kid.
I remember crying.
Yeah.
And I remember I was with my brother and his girlfriend, and they had already seen it. They said, we're going to take you to see it, because I'd just seen Indiana Jones. And they said, you got to go see E.T. It's fucking great. And I said, there's nothing like Indiana Jones, and there never will be again. Mm-hmm. And they said, you're going to like E.T. And they took me, and I said, it's sad. And I was like, pfft. And I remember when they, Elliot. And I remember sitting in my seat. You get tears come out. You're like holding your eyes wide open so they dry out. And I remember going, I'm fucking crying.
Thank God it's dark.
Yeah, but they couldn't do that today. That was I think it was an hour and 30 minutes. It wasn't much longer than that. But he told like one of the greatest stories ever in an hour and 30 minutes. You know how fucking long that would take someone today to do? Like, they couldn't do it.
It was an hour and 55 minutes.
Okay, well, what's another half an hour? Right?
But you're right.
Okay, so I was off a little bit. But
it would be double that.
Yeah.
Today.
Okay, so if it was an hour and 55 minutes, then.
It'd be
first off, they couldn't get over themselves. Tell you all kinds of shit about this and that and this and that, and make a comment about somebody that was fucking middle-aged, how wrong they were, and then they can move on with their story. But yeah, there's no way they can make those movies.
You would have to spend the first hour at least bashing masculinity.
Yeah. Making fun of the white guy.
Right. Saying how bad the white man is. Toxic masculinity and white privilege.
And make a comparison between the alien and what black people suffer here. Right? Do that.
Let's remake the movie name.
Should we?
Yeah. I think so.
Did you ever watch Sunny in Philadelphia? Always Sunny in Philadelphia, when they remade Lethal Weapon?
No. Some feedback. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
I'm not sure what that is. Oh, headphones. Well,
Still better?
Yeah, it's still there a little bit, but that's better. Moving right along. I made it worse. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, but picture Disney. Picture Disney remaking any of that shit. By the way, over the break, I did put on Lethal Weapons and watch those. How fucking cool were those two, right? And there, by the way, I know it can be done, and it wasn't ever done until these geniuses came along and these thinkers and put a black guy and a white guy as a buddy cop thing, right? But those guys were great. You didn't even think about the fact that they were two different colors.
No,
you didn't think about it. Yeah,
didn't even cross your mind. That's going to drive me insane.
Yeah, they were fucking awesome too.
There we go. Oh, let me find some duct tape. We'll fix that.
But dude, that's a good Mel Gibson's so awesome in those.
You know what? In the hotel room, I was looking through the channels and I saw. I don't remember which one it was. It didn't stay on because college football was on it. And but I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen Michelle Obama look that young in years.
Oh, yeah, she was young in her prime. She was in her prime then, dude. Yeah, that was before she was married to the president, right? Were they married at that time? How long have they been married?
Oh shit, I don't know, man. It couldn't have been that long because same-sex marriage hasn't been approved for that long.
If she's not a man, you know there's definitely been a strap-on involved in that relationship. I fucking promise you.
I'm not taking that bet.
Yeah.
I mean, Barry's already, you know, his former male lovers have already come out against him, so you know. So
do you think that he was gay? Do you think he was gay? Or do you think?
Not only do I believe it, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, so that's the humor in that, dude. When they came out and started defending that, right? They were like, "Oh no, he wasn't gay," and it's like, well, you guys are the same ones saying it's okay to be gay. Then why should that bother you? Because it sure as fuck wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Right? Like if he was gay, he was gay. If he liked it like that, I don't give a shit what he does on his private time.
I think the excuse was he wasn't gay. He was just curious.
Okay. Perfect.
But it goes right back to Andrew Dice Clay.
Right. But still, though, it was amazing how they got up in arms about, oh, he wasn't gay. This is a lie. Well, why would you have said, I don't care if he is gay?
Right.
You know, big deal. It's so big fucking deal. But that wasn't like a...
That's so weird, man. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, too. But ultimately, I don't care if he sucked it. Who cares, man?
Nobody cares.
I don't care.
But it was funny that they were outraged about it. Right. This is propaganda. The proper response, especially for your team, the guys that love everything that's, you know, you guys say is abnormal, would have been, who cares?
Man, I tell you what. If I were to ever run for office and somebody were to bring something like that, whatever, from my past.
Would you say just once?
I'd be like, yeah, did it.
Did it, yeah.
Next question.
Yeah, did it.
But no, it's in my past. I admit to it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Talk about the future.
Yeah, who cares anyways? Like, really, honestly, who cares? But I thought it was because they thought maybe she's going to run, which I still do think she's going to run. And I think that the Republicans realized that we need to get something out there.
But I'm tired of the same old rhetoric.
On
all that stuff. You know what? Give me a politician like Clinton. Let me tell you what. I have no respect for Clinton whatsoever.
Even now that he's on the Epstein files?
Before that, I had no respect.
Now you respect.
Well, define respect.
Dude, so that shit, did you hear about that? Oh, go on and finish the thing. Okay.
But my point is, if during that whole Monica Lewinsky thing, he would just said, yeah, I did it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know how much more respect I would have had for him as a man?
Yeah.
Because everybody knows he fucked her.
What if he would have come out and said, that was one of the best loads I've ever blown up?
Oh, even more respect.
Yeah.
Rock on.
And he'd be like afterwards talking to, they'd walk out and go, so that really happened?
Because.
Like, yeah, so what was so good about that load? And he'd be like, that fucking came all over the place.
Because every guy in America, even women, can respect that.
Yeah.
You know, all right.
But why go through all that? And here's the key. The kicker is why go through all of that shit literally just to come out and get caught anyway? Because we know they are fucking dressed.
Right.
He didn't know that at the time. Right. He had no idea she could save that dress. Did she save that dress?
All you got to do is take one look at Hillary Clinton. And everybody in the world gets it and will forgive you. Just admit it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Did somebody say
like,
well,
yeah, I'm trying to do it. I'm trying to do a Bill Clinton like fucking. So did you do that? I fucking came everywhere.
I did have sexual relations with that woman.
Somewhere there's a parallel world that he did come out and he said, I fucking came all over the Oval Office. I came here. And he's like pointing. Can you imagine him walking people around? I came here. These curtains over here, I came all over these fucking curtains.
And then you get the Secret Service guy in the back saying, hey, boss, don't forget about the other room. Oh, yeah. I forgot about it. I met her over. I gave her my own oval.
That guy,
If you know what I mean.
I came everywhere.
You know,
That dress, that's nothing.
how great would it have been if he said, yeah, I did it. Look at Hillary.
Look
Because
at,
I've got to be married. And look at my daughter. That's the ugliest damn daughter I've ever seen in my life.
yeah, for sure, dude.
Do you
Do you blame me?
I bet hell no, Bill.
How different is that though? If he does come out, they ask him. They said, "Did you? What was it? Did you or did you not have sexual?"
Right.
I never had.
Well, the thing, what really realized for me that he was such a slimy bastard was when he said, well, that depends on your definition of the word is.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
I'm like, as far as I knew, there's only one definition, but apparently, in legal terms, there's more than one definition of that.
Yeah.
So you're just a slut. Just admit it, bro. You banged her, okay? I mean,
yeah.
If you're embarrassed because she was a little bit heavier, not that good looking, I get it. But it's definitely a step up from what you married.
What if he would have said, like, this is what Trump would have said? I can do better than that. This is the worst Clinton impression ever.
Excuse me. Everyone knows I would not have fucked Lewinsky, okay? She's ugly. She's a pig. She's right there with Rosie O'Donnell. Dude, everybody knows my standards are much higher. Yeah.
I wouldn't have, I don't know how to do him, but I wouldn't have fucked him with her with your dick. He would have said something like that. That's what Clinton should have said, but we know he did. Oh, yeah. We know he fucking.
I wouldn't even grabbed her by the pussy.
Did he fuck her with a cigar or some shit too? Like he
allegedly.
Allegedly. You know he put it in her, right?
Oh yeah. And then he smoked it afterwards too.
Yeah.
That or he made her smoke.
Yeah.
Wow. How did we get down the fucking Clinton?
Yeah. Well, because we're going to talk about because he's in the Epstein things. There's like 46 cases. And then, did you just see? So they were showing an interview with, is it Linda Gates? Bill Gates' ex-wife?
Who cares?
And she was interviewed by some, this is like a while back, but they asked her about that Epstein. And she goes, yeah, I thought it was weird that he was around him. I knew what he was doing, but I wanted to meet him. She goes, because Bill was always around him. So she goes, I met him one time, and I needed to know what he was like, and it was the personification of evil. He was like pure evil. You could just tell by being around him.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, so she goes, do you think that was the end of it? Like, what do you think that Bill kept hanging out? She goes, well, I'll let Bill talk about that. Those are questions for him. But she's like, yeah, that's definitely had a. So she knew something was up. Yeah, she fucking totally does.
For the record, I'm gonna go out and say that I don't think they'll ever be released.
I don't either. Yeah. By the way, it was Doe 46 or something like that. That's the name they gave, and allegedly that's supposed to be Bill Clinton. But they couldn't even give us a fucking name. The judge says, give us names, and they still said, here's some people, Doe 46 or some shit like that.
It'll never come out.
It'll never come out.
Never.
They'll kill that. They'll kill everyone before that comes out.
This is the one time where I would agree with somebody like Anonymous getting a hold of that and leaking it. Somebody somewhere has the skills to hack into that shit.
Well, so this got me thinking about Spielberg. I heard he's on it too.
Really?
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say it like this: if the list ever comes out, which I doubt it will, every single one of them assholes that are on that list need to be crucified. Not just thrown in jail. Prison is not good enough for that.
Mm-hmm.
For those people, knowing in the back of their minds that they're so rich that they think they can get away with anything, and for the most part, they do.
They do, and they can, and they will, because even if Bill Clinton's confirmed, but I think they're pretty much confirming it, nothing's going to happen to him, and they're still going to love him on the left. They just fucking will. That we know that.
Well, the left line that you could, if I was a leftist hardcore liberal, someone came in and raped my daughter, I would side with the rapist. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I would not condone that they go to prison, or I would not condone that they be put to death. But the real me, I'd be the one going to prison, because I would destroy, torture.
And that's honest to God. She might, be too old for these people because they were doing like young. That's the reality of the situation. It's like they kind of leave that shit out when they talk about it. But the reality is these were fucking kids.
We forget about it. Well, the American public forgets about that. The American public is notorious for having such a short-term memory that they forget the important aspect of why we're even talking about this list. These monsters did awful things to children.
Yeah, and for those there are those people, by the way, that think that they want to abolish this age thing. You can see them getting down there. Those that have not been around 13, 14 girls, they try to make that they are kids. They're fucking kids. You have one, I have one, they're fucking kids. And there is no they're not capable of making their own decisions, and they shouldn't be on a fucking plane or wherever, an island, ever, with these fucking creepazoids. This dude who we know, he's just a piece of shit. That guy. That's me again. I think it's. I'll put my hands up here. I think it's. Anyhow, but yeah. So there's that. So you're right. I don't think they'll come out with that at all. It's sick to think that these are kids. These fuckers should be burned, but they won't be. They'll be protected. And another guy that they're confirming, I think, pretty much confirming, is who's that fucking idiot of that stupid royal family?
Oh, Prince Andrew.
Yeah, fuck those guys. Who the fuck are those guys? By the way, that is Disneyland of the fucking England. That is all that is. That's fucking. He's Mickey Mouse. And they're all the fucking goofies, and that's all they are. It's just a stupid attraction for people in England. It's all that stupid shit is. And that guy's out, like I guess they can tie him to like little girls. So Epstein would bring a girl out. I think he's a Ghislaine. Who's that fucking pig? Ghislaine. And she brought him out or something and said, you need to go have sex with him. He's like just like a 12-year-old girl. Right. Yeah, so these guys are fucking sick.
Well, she's sick too.
Yeah, they're all sick. Anybody that's in that fucking plane is sick.
The fact that most of these people that are on that list have children themselves, it sickens me. It really just really pisses me off. Now, granted, some of their children might be grown-ups by now, but that doesn't matter.
They weren't then.
Exactly.
Yeah. They weren't then, yeah.
I mean, my daughter's growing up. She's taller than Connie is now. But I will never, even when she's an adult, I'm going to have a hard time not looking at her. She's my little baby.
Yeah.
How can these disgusting, vile pieces of shit, knowing that is a child and that's somebody's child, and that their child was once that age, how can they still continue with the acts that they're doing? It's so.
What's even weirder, dude, and I know we're going to be in the same area here, and I'm sure most people are, I hope. How are you turned on by that?
Yeah.
How is that your fucking thing? Yeah. Like,
I just know.
Is it the naivety of it? Is that a right word? Naivety of it? Is that what turns them on? Because we were kind of talking about this today. We were talking about controlling men and shit like that. They kind of like it when their women are submissive. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's no questions asked. They're too young to say no.
Maybe it's the fact that it's so taboo. That's what gets them off.
It's taboo because it's fucking weird.
The fact that they know it's so wrong. That's what gets. I don't know, man. That's a great question for a psychiatrist, psychologist, clinical psychologist to come on and try to answer. I don't think we'll ever truly know why, or that it's a mental defect. But if they have their way, it's going to go away. The diagnostic manual for mental disorders criteria, just like narcissism is no longer considered a mental disorder. Did you know that?
Was it a disorder?
It was in the DSM.
Okay.
And it had multiple subcategories and multiple diagnostic criteria to meet that. But now all of a sudden it's gone out of there. That's an issue. But my whole point is that it's a mental, it's not even a disorder, it's a sickness. And all the literature that I've read up on it, you'll never be cured from that. You will be an habitual offender. And as far as I'm concerned, maybe you just don't belong on this earth anymore. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that if anybody were to ever do anything to my kids, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life because it's premeditated and I have a plan.
Yeah.
I will, with my background, my medical knowledge and skills,
bring them back to life.
I will keep the motherfucker alive.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, that would be, and I think that's the thing, man. Like, I'm the same way, dude. I would have no problem. I always try to keep it in line. I have for the last 27 years. I always try to keep a level head, but that erases all of that, I think. And then you're gonna get the non-family me, the non-husband me. You know.
You're going to see somebody that I've been trying to hide for a long time.
Right. That's what I always try to hide from that guy. I always try to keep him left in. Yeah, I agree 100%. But yeah, anyhow. Perez says Beverly Hills Cop was great. That was great. Yeah.
They're bringing it back.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
They are. Same.
But is he going to be in it, though?
Yep.
Okay, so.
And Judd Nelson and the other guy.
They might.
Taggart. I watched that movie last week.
Dude, it's so good.
I've
seen both of them in the theater.
It holds up.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, that was great. Man, I don't like to hear the remake. I don't like to hear the remaking shit today. I just don't. I hear people say all the time they need to reboot that. No, they fucking don't. Leave it alone.
It's not a remake. It's the, I guess, fourth.
Okay, so like so fourth, and they're gonna do Lethal Weapon too, by the way. I guess Mel Gibson's gonna direct it. So.
What are they in? Wheelchairs and walkers or what?
Yeah, he's gonna whip. It's gonna be Passion of the Christ. Yeah. Yeah, but they're gonna remake that too, which I trust him because he's he was anti all that shit to begin with, but and maybe Eddie Murphy is as well. But I just hate, dude. Like when I hear they're gonna reboot shit, like I hear, oh, that was a great. It doesn't look. This doesn't work. You can't put these two fucking things in the same sentence. You can't say that was a great movie. They should reboot it. You can't fucking do that. It doesn't work. It's oil in its water because if you loved the movie and you thought it was great, it won't be fucking great when they get done. Matter of fact, all they will do is take it to the extreme of you will fucking possibly not like the original when they're done with it. That's the way that shit works today.
Yeah.
When I used to be up for that, man, I'd be like, my favorite TV show or, dude, Quantum Leap, man. Quantum Leap, I fucking loved it. I think we've talked about it.
It was a good show.
Dude, so not Quantum Leap. I've watched the first 22 minutes. Yeah. There's everything that you would expect. If I told you to take a woke TV, put everything woke, the South Park like that, make her gay and put a chick in it. That is fucking what the new Quantum Leap is, dude. It is. I watched 22 minutes and I fucking went click, and I went never again.
I don't think I got that far. I take it back. I think I watched the full episode. Started watching it, and then I'm like, and then get up.
It's fucking blatant. I mean, it's bam in your face. But this is not your fucking dad's Quantum Leap. That was a great show, by the way. And it was, by the way, from the get-go, they talked about it being God. Someone's jumping him around. We think it's God. It's referenced several times in the first few episodes of the original show. And I thought, well, how the fuck are they going to do this? Well, I hear they don't mention God at all, which they wouldn't. So I'd love to know how they're doing it, but I hear they don't even focus on him in the time frame, right? So that's what you get, man. I love that show. I watched it all the time. But you don't want to see a remake. No, if you love that show, leave it. Or wait until maybe we're out of this fucking parasitic mind bullshit that we're in. Because that's what we're dealing with is contaminated heads. Mm-hmm. We got to get out of this. If you like a show, if you love Jaws, if you love Well, we know what they did in Star Wars. If you love Indiana Jones, look at that fucking thing. I mean, Jesus. You could go on and on. If you love The Godfather, you love anything like that, do not remake it now. You've got to get out of this funk.
Yes.
You've got to get away from these people.
Because nowadays The Godfather would be Godmother.
It would be like, yeah, it would totally be a reboot. Would be God knows what they would do to that. But they would do exactly what you think they would do.
I'm gonna make you love and you can't refuse. Now bend over.
I'm gonna get down on my knees and
You're
gonna undo your britches. And
I'm gonna come over there. I'm not gonna break your kneecaps. I'm gonna put it in your butthole.
You're gonna pull something out and mine's gonna suck it. That's what they do.
That's like a weird, almost Muhammad Ali.
Was it?
Yeah.
So sting like a butterfly and suck it like a bee.
Pull out my wiener and take a bee.
Rope a dope and smoke some rope and
soap on a rope.
Soap on a rope.
Cause I'm pretty.
Yeah.
So high tech brings up a good point. It says it's all digital warfare. They're all fake now. I couldn't agree. You know, it's sad too because the special effects capabilities are obviously light years of what they used to be. But I almost kind of miss the cheesy animated effects of the movies of the 80s and the 70s, you know?
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember Clash of the Titans.
God damn.
The clay animated.
Remember that fucking stupid owl?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that fucking dumb looking thing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill that fucking
But
owl.
I can't tell you how many
Does that sound bad? Fuck that owl.
Well, fucking the owls.
Remember that fucking stupid thing?
Killing it.
Remember, didn't it land on a branch? I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Oh, it turned upside down.
Yeah, fuck that owl. Fuck that owl.
Speaking of owls and birds, I was talking to the vet because Alma had some vestibular issues going on, and we started talking about birds. And oddly enough, did you know that pigeons die after sex?
Is this a joke?
At least the one I fucked did.
I didn't know it. I fucking heard that. I knew you were going to say that. All right. But I was actually thinking, really? So it's bad.
Got you hooked right in there, didn't it?
Yeah, no, the digital shit is crazy. And I'm trying to think of one. Like the digital blood is really bad. Have you seen the horror movies where it's digital blood? And it's like pixelated. It's like,
oh my God.
It's so bad.
What about The Shining? Could you imagine them trying to remake that nowadays?
How do you? No, I mean I can't imagine them. I mean I can imagine them, but would not want them to remake anything. No. And that's the thing, dude. If you like a show, I mean, if you truly have a passion, you do not want them touching it today.
Right.
It'd be like, man, I really want to build a house like the one I grew up in. But you're like stuck with some of the worst fucking architects ever today. And but you'd say, I'm going to try it. And they build you this fucking pile of shit. And that's what you're going to, you knew it was going to be a turd. You knew it wasn't going to work out.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
The new one or the old one?
So, Nightmare on Elm Street was one of my favorite. We discussed
We talked about that, yeah.
And I went back during the Halloween season and I watched it
again. Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Horrible.
Really? Like, what do you mean horrible?
Like it just, I don't know, man. I think I can't really put my finger on it, especially since I liked it so much when it first came out as a kid. But I don't know, man. Some hold up, some don't. To me, that one just didn't hold up. It didn't keep my interest. It was way cheesier than I remember it being.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, they really
Which was a shame.
Yeah, and they start to really fall apart. So there's like 2, and that's the gay one.
Right.
And then they get into 3, and that's Dream Warriors, which has got Dawkins. So of course that's always
that was the best part about it.
Yeah, Dawkins kills it in that. But then they go to 4, and I actually put that on and started watching that. And I was like, fuck, that's like straight to DVD, right? They were starting to get like the dialogue. Like they were talking, 2 cops talking, and they're like, fucking, what do you want to do for lunch? And sub, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
So what you're saying, it's like a Steven Seagal movie.
so there's this guy. You know what? Let's fucking do. Let's get on this Seagal. There's this guy. By the way, I'm gonna give a referral, a shout out to Space Ice is his name on YouTube. This fucking dude does Seagal movies, and it's like and he just tears him apart. He breaks down the movies, but he reads it like the movie theater guy in a world where, and it's fucking awesome, dude. And he breaks down the Steven Seagal movies. And me and my daughter would sit there. I think this was over the summer. We'd just put those on.
What's it? Space Ice?
Space Ice is the guy's name. And he does like he just tears him apart. He fucking rips him apart. And they're so funny. But yeah, check that out for sure. But that guy's great, dude. But I laugh out loud. Like Bets would come out of the room and go, "What the hell are you laughing about?" I'm fucking laughing at this guy make fun of Steven Seagal.
I'm gonna see if I can. Of course, it's on the TV. So. And there's that whole spelling component that I'm dealing with too. So,
there you go.
You know, Space
Ice, yeah.
Not yet. Oh, son of a bitch. That's what happens when you got fat fingers, man. Jesus. What are you gonna do? Now I gotta start all over again. But anyway, Space Ice. Yeah, Seagal, dude, you know when his first couple of movies came out, I was a fan. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, you were a fan until you realized there's no way that shit would work, right? You remember so he makes fun of all that smacking, the stupid fighting that he does.
Well, you know, I studied Aikido for a while. And I will say this, the dude is really, really good. But he's one of, God damn it, did again. He's one of a few. I mean, he's just like a freak at it, you know, and right there. But not many people can do.
So he'll do Van Damme, but he does best movie when it comes to Skull. So his worst movie ever. Steven Seagal is. And he just breaks it down like that. And it's funny, dude. I can't even do it justice. Like the early, start from the beginning. Like go all the way down his list and start there, and fucking dude, you'll be like, you won't be able to stop. You'll go, God damn it, I finished them all. You want to watch more of them.
That's right. That's Space Ice for you, ladies and gentlemen. On YouTube.
Yeah, so subscribe to that guy. He's great, man. He just started, by the way, during COVID. That guy, he just started doing his YouTube thing during COVID. I looked him up, and there's not much on him. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him. I tried to find out what he looks like, but it's just some guy started this channel, and it's fucking hysterical.
Well, it sounds like we need to try to get him on the show.
We should get him on the show, yeah. Yep.
Look how fat he got, dude.
Dude, he talks about all of that. He's like, in a world where Steven Seagal, and then he makes fun of his run because as he gets older, he gets really fat. Oh, dude, but it gets worse.
You know what's funny about Steven Seagal? You know he's like a deputy sheriff.
Dude, there's no fucking way that guy would.
Total.
I know. I've seen the show. I don't believe it for a second.
What cracks me up about that show is how, say they pull over a black guy.
Yeah.
He gets out of the car and all of a sudden he thinks he's black.
Yeah, Tom Segura talks about that during one of his stand-ups.
Does he really?
So all of a sudden he gets, your brother. Yeah. It's like, oh, hey, but he does it in his movies too. So Space Ice points that out. Like he's in the movie, like with black guys, and he starts talking, your brother, brother. Yeah, dude. But by the way, that's a pure fucking racist, right? Like, wouldn't you say that you're talking to? Yeah, it is what it is. It's like that guy's got away with it because either he doesn't fucking care, or no one cares enough to actually take him serious enough to say something.
Nobody takes him serious, man. Every interview I've seen with an actor that's worked with him, has had nothing but negative crap to say about him. He's an asshole. He's a narcissist. He's a bully.
So keep in mind, if you watch this, you will start getting, like, your feed will come in, and you will be amazed at the people talking shit about Steven Seagal. And I watched some of them and went down that rabbit hole like you're talking about, but nobody does it like this guy. This guy makes it, they're like 10 minutes long, and they're all like, in a world where Steven Seagal.
I wish I could pull one up, but we'd probably get for copyright.
Can we do like 10 seconds and then
You could do. Yeah, we could probably do that.
we can? I think if you pause it and then fast forward, we can kind of watch some of it.
You can do up to I think it's 30 cents. Other than that, they'll flag it.
Okay.
I just need to make sure, real quick, everything else is muted. So,
Dude, look at this hair. It doesn't even look like the same fucking person.
no,
In the hair. And he makes fun of all of this, by the way.
he looks like he ate a small child in that one.
Yeah, dude, and look, that hair, that's not real. And
Oh, hell no.
Dude, he's like 25 years older than me,
Yeah.
and he has jet black facial hair.
He is for sure keeping these hair dye companies in business. If you know what I'm saying. Let's see if we can find one. Should I start at like the beginning? Or
Yeah, but you go to one of the, maybe not the first one, go to, God, dude, there's one I love so much. It's like a zombie one. It's so fucking funny.
a zombie one?
Because it's so bad. It's just so bad. But go to, let me see. Kind of low, but maybe not the first one. Maybe like the third one from the bottom.
All right, so here, these are. So here's one from. Well, let's just do this one. This fat.
Dude, hold on. Can I see it? Let me see.
This is.
Yeah, just play whatever. We'll just get a little bit.
I love Steven Seagal.
Oh, you're gonna love this guy, dude. You're gonna fucking love this.
Not in the way that you think I love him. I love him because he's comedic gold. All right, let's see.
So my daughter, while we were watching it, she goes, "Is this for real? Does this guy really make movies?" I said, "Yes." So he talks about it being a money laundering scheme. And this is the reason that I am convinced that Steven Seagal movies are all a money laundering scheme. Because, dude, there's nobody going to see that fucking movie. When was the last time you've seen this? Just honest question. You can tell me. When was the last time you've seen a Steven Seagal movie that was recent? Like, when you said, oh, Steven Seagal's got a new movie out.
Most of his stuff goes straight to DVD nowadays, or to.
But when was the last time you said, I gotta catch this?
It was probably around the Hard to Kill.
So 30 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Nothing. Yeah, he doesn't.
Nobody's going to see these movies, and that's what the guy talks about. This is why I'm convinced it's a money laundering scheme. He's not making fucking money. So there's something else going on there. It's like a Joe Biden business.
Where he finally showed the world that somebody really needs to stop him. And holy shit, this movie is complete garbage. No, it's not. It starts with Seagal rambling complete nonsense to these poor students.
You can use to kill people. This is the nature of chi. Where you can go.
All right.
Where you can
I'm
go.
stopping it right there. I heard all I need to hear.
Well, you can go into the.
Chi.
That's like my Muhammad Ali thing.
Right.
So I do a little Steven Seagal.
So, have you ever watched on YouTube any of these McDojo videos, these fake martial arts?
Yeah, dude, it's a fucking the guys that like can.
Yeah,
dude, that's
they call it cheat.
Okay,
right?
so let's get back to the keto thing. He's not good. He's like right there with those guys, right? He's like
no, he's got legit Aikido skills. I mean, say what you will about his acting and his personality. His Aikido is top fucking.
How would you know that?
Because I've seen him.
But
I've seen him do demonstrations. I've seen it. So let me say this first. Aikido would never work in a real world situation.
Okay, so let's clarify that first.
Yes.
So that's like me saying I do butterfly technique. And you'd say, what's that? And I'd say, I'm real good at it. You said, you are good at it, but it wouldn't work.
But it is an art form. And it takes legitimate skill to do a lot of what he does.
Well, he's been doing it for 50 fucking years.
He's in the Aikido world, he's as legit as they come. But I had to preface that by saying, in the real world, Aikido will get you your ass handed to you.
Let me ask you this. You did Aikido?
Mm-hmm.
Are you supposed to kick in Aikido?
Higher levels. So once you start getting to the black belt level,
Which he is,
there are
allegedly.
strikes. Yes. and there are weapons. But you,
But you kick. Do you kick? Do you lift
yes,
it? Have you seen him kick?
He kicks like a bitch.
When you watch these videos, you'll see him kick. He can't kick above his fucking kneecap.
Well, no, look at him. He's fucking 400 pounds.
He wasn't in the early days. He can't. First off, he's not like an athlete. That's clear, right? Like you throw a ball at this guy, he couldn't catch water if he fell out of a boat. I mean, he couldn't.
So let me just say, Aikido was designed as an unarmed self-defense against samurais with weapons.
I've seen this. Dude, I've seen that video. Yeah, like.
But you have to have somebody that's going to fight you that way for it to be effective.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like your baseball card might be worth fucking $10,000. You got to find some idiot to pay that first.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Aikido, even some karate, Taekwondo for sure. It's not really going to help you much in a real world situation. But I don't make fun of the art because it's an art. It gives somebody, especially kids, gives them something to do. It gives them exercise.
Okay, well, you didn't. I get it. I get where you're going. It gives them some discipline. It gives them a start. But you kind of went in to this sounding like this guy's.
Well,
first off, you said he's a cop. I'm going to disagree with that 100%. There's no fucking way he's a cop. And if he was, that was a fake badge.
I agree with you.
Okay, let's get this.
So they have these reserve honorary positions that they give, right?
Right.
So he's a cop, but he's not. You know what I mean? He can say he's a cop without somebody saying, no, you're just full of shit. Okay, yeah, somebody gave you a nice honorary certificate. But, bro, that was all 100% TV.
No, it's 100%
100%.
TV. Yeah.
This dude's not going off on his own, dude. He's a fucking...
It was an entertainment thing. It was a joke. It was an insult. It's just like everything with the guy. It's an insult. It's like you said, we're talking about when he talks to black people or Mexican people or whoever he's talking to. It's always a fucking joke. It's not real. It's parody. Everything's a parody.
Make no mistake about it. I am not defending this dude in any way, shape, or fashion. But I will tell you from a purely martial art form and standpoint, he's really fucking good at Aikido.
Yeah, well, fucking Elvis Stoico was good at figure skating.
Right.
Yeah, I mean.
So that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That I respect where he's at on that scale. I don't believe for a second his old fat ass is going to do anything against somebody that's trained as a fighter.
Well, you watch some of these videos, and I've seen him do air combat where he sits. Because I've never seen it. I haven't seen a Steven Seagal movie. I'm going to say in roughly 30 years. I don't believe that there's anyone out there who has. Hence the money laundering. But I will fucking tell you this: he does show you the clips, which is all you need. There's some things where he's fighting in the chair. He doesn't even leave the chair. He's so good at Aikido that there's a guy hitting him,
all right,
and he's literally like this.
Let's just break this down. He's so good at Aikido and fighting in a chair because he's too fat to get out of the mother.
He didn't even want to get out of it. Dude, I'm telling you, when you watch these videos, there's one that's really good where he so like a lot of them he directs, and the guy goes, "This movie is so bad, and all you need to know is Steven Seagal wrote and directed this." and then they'll go back and they'll show how fucking bad it is, and about 5 minutes in, by the way, did I say Steven Seagal wrote and directed this?
I think he's a turd with a capital T. I'm not even, like I said, I'm not defending him. I think he's just a horrible person. Just a mean, narcissistic bully. He's not a small guy, he's over 6 feet.
Yeah, he's like 6'4", I think.
Yeah,
he's taller
a big dude. And you can just tell he was a bully his whole life.
Yeah. There's some stories, like I said, you'll come across them if you get to go in this. They'll be bombarding your feed.
I watched an interview with John Leguizamo.
Yeah, one, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there's another one.
Dude hits him.
Yeah, he hits him. Well, that guy's tiny too, right? So
yeah.
John Leguizamo wasn't known, I don't think, as a fighter.
No.
So there you go. There's this bully aspect, right? Then there's a stunt guy on there that they talk about.
Judo Gene LaBelle.
No, there's some. It's just a modern. It's a guy that's modern right now.
Oh, really? Well, Judo Gene LaBelle choked him out, made him shit his pants.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I've heard that too.
And Judo Gene LaBelle, who unfortunately passed last year, He was the real deal, man.
Yeah. What,
He was
jiu-jitsu?
Judo.
Judo? So, yeah, same, but not Aikido. Could we just say it was, okay.
No.
So jiu-jitsu or judo, you're good to go. I'm not saying you're not good to go in Aikido. I don't know the first thing about Aikido.
I like Aikido for their wrist locks. Because they got some.
I'm
really
sure
good
that would work,
locks.
right? I'm sure some of it would work, yeah. And don't they fight with the sticks a lot, too?
No, it's a different one.
Did you ever see him fight with sticks? Because I did.
Who, him?
Seagal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. When they're the higher level, once you're at that level, you know, most martial artists don't look at the black belt level as I made it. Once you're at the black belt level, if you're a true martial artist, then your mindset is okay. Now it's time to really learn.
Right.
But once you get to those higher levels, that's when even judo. Most people don't understand it or realize that judo has striking techniques.
Yeah.
And weapon
Judo's
techniques.
legit. That's legit shit. Yeah.
But that's all. They're all for demonstration and kata purposes. You have to be a complete martial artist as a judoka. You have to know how to do these different katas and the different weapons. But it's makes. They don't beat around the bush. They tell you straight out, these are demonstration only techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't try to pretend that, you're gonna be the biggest badass, whatever. It's usually designed for guys my age that you can't really compete anymore. It's just too hard on the body.
Right.
But you go through and now you perform these katas and demonstration. And that's, you have to have so many of those and know so many and demonstrate and be evaluated before you can be advanced.
Okay.
Steven's well.
I could talk about it all night, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to be so addicted that you're going to call me tomorrow and you're going to go, I fucking watched every one of those last night.
I probably will.
It's great, dude. It's fucking glorious.
In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and say, yeah.
You're going to love it, dude. So glad. I wanted to mention this guy a long time ago, but yeah, dude, he's fucking awesome. What was I going to say? Something with the interview I watched on Seagal.
Don't make me give you a Judy chop.
What about Van Damme? No, I know what it was. So they were asking Chuck Norris about what an asshole he was. And Chuck, this is probably late 90s. And he goes, yeah, I hear, Chuck's all straight. Yeah, I hear something like that. But was he, so he was an asshole. The social goes, yeah, that maybe, was he? Yeah. Was he ever an asshole? No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't do that.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, dude. Well, he fucking fought. Like, you can pull up video of Norris fighting. Not the shit you're talking about, butterfly technique and shit like that. He was legit.
He was
middleweight champion, right?
Yeah. And he holds, not only is he a karate black belt, he holds a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt and a judo black belt.
Really?
Yeah. That dude is as bad as they come, man. So all these memes you see, as funny as they are,
it's true.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah.
He's a bad
But he did it, dude. By
Right.
the way, he was doing that shit when it really wasn't cool.
Right.
Like Muhammad Ali was doing it, still fighting. He was legit, like, pulling that shit out. Yeah, he's awesome. But he was one of my favorites growing up, dude. I just went back and watched Missing in Action. By the way,
Oh, great.
I love
It's cheesy.
Yeah, boy, it's something.
But
It's
like-
it's because we love it.
Yeah.
There's an action figure coming out. Here I go. and I'm gonna order that motherfucker, dude. It's gonna be the Missing in Action. And I was like, man, I'm getting that for sure day one.
ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call a callback.
This is my what I said earlier, my vagina allergy kicking in here. But no, dude, it looks great. I'll have to send it to you. You're gonna make fun of me anyway, but that's okay. But anyhow, I went and watched some of those. And I was like, oh, fuck, these are bad.
These
are really bad. I love them.
Unrealistic
They're
and
so bad.
unbelievable.
There's like
But the action is great.
they're doing something. They're torturing a guy, and he's in a bamboo. This was in the beginning, and he's trying to act, and he's like, no,
Who Chuck?
no, yeah, it's so bad. And Chuck Norris, it's like
His best are the ones that he really doesn't say much in, like
Yeah.
the Octagon.
he doesn't say shit in the octave, but that's a hard, long watch too. It's boring.
Ah, man. So
And his brothers, I haven't seen that in years, but I used to watch it all the time.
back in the day, I started martial arts when I was young kid, and I started with karate.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah,
So-
I started at that time because of Chuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so anything I could watch, cheesy, the American. Remember the American Ninja movie?
Fuck yeah, dude. By the way, okay, they were really bad, but they're fun as shit.
Yeah.
Some Saturday you sit around, put that shit on, and just watch them. I went through 3 of them one day, and then I got into 4. I didn't even fucking know they had 4.
The black dude in that movie, man.
Dude, that dude was freaking peeled, right? Yeah, he was in a lot of shit.
You know what?
He's great.
Honestly, he made those movies.
Yeah.
If he wasn't in those movies, they would have been, oh my God, worse than what they are. But it's like a guilty pleasure. They're so bad. But
It's canon, dude. It's got canon movies. But they are so bad, but they're almost like, dude, I knew there was 2. I didn't know there was 3.
I didn't either. Well, there was what? American Ninja, and I don't even know. I can't even pretend like I
There's
know.
a lot. And then the other guy, dude, when Michael Dudikoff,
Yes.
when Michael Dudikoff, who's made 4 movies in his life, turns down 3, buckle up.
That tells you something.
Buckle up. We're getting good.
But check this out. How crazy is it that we still can recall his name? Like that.
Well, I knew him from Bachelor Party first.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember, he was the fucking. He was one of the
forgot
buddies.
he
Yeah,
was
he was
in
in
that.
Bachelor Party. So when he started doing the ninjas, I thought, what the fuck?
Right.
Like this guy knows karate, and I was like, I didn't want to take him serious. I seen those in the movie theater.
There was a series. It was another ninja series. I don't remember the name of it, but it had a Japanese lead.
Revenge of the Ninja, right?
It might have been.
And it was he was
But he had this son too, and his son, his name is the character, not the character, but the kid that played the movie was his name was Ernie Reyes Jr.
Yeah. He was a great martial artist. Yeah.
He went on to play one of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, and he was also in the show Sidekicks. It was on
Yes.
like an 87 or
Yeah.
something like that. I watch the show every night, and they pulled that fucker. I don't even know. I don't even want to go back and know why. I'm sure that fucker was third, dude. I watched it every night though. It was like that, and I think Sledgehammer was on, so I'd watch Sledgehammer and I'd watch like Sidekicks, and then they just
And
pulled
then
it.
there was what was the 3 ninjas? They were kids. Do you remember that? It was so god awful. I
No,
mean,
that had to be like 90s, right?
even as it was either late 80s or early 90s. Well, no, it must have been before that, because I remember watching as a kid, and even as a kid thinking, this is so bad.
Yeah.
It's
You ever like go back and like YouTube has a lot of that shit, and you like, I just want to see if it was as good as I remember, and then you play it, and you're like,
yeah,
oh shit.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I did.
Only the Strong. I don't think I know that one.
Who was in that? I don't either. I don't know.
But remember, one of my favorite ones
Was that Chuck Norris? No, because I think I knew all Chuck Norris's.
One of my favorite ones. It was so bad. The Last Dragon.
That wasn't that a parody?
It was a Barry Gordy.
Yeah, from he was Motown, right?
I don't think it was meant to be a parody,
It wasn't,
but it ended up being one.
dude. I haven't seen that since when it came out.
Who's the master?
Was it? What was the name?
Show enough.
Show Enough. That's it.
Shogun of Harlem.
Show Enough.
Who's the master?
I'll check that out. I'm telling you, go back and watch American Ninja. That's fucking good.
And then how about No Retreat, No Surrender?
We've talked about that. I can't remember. I think you said Van Damme's in it, right?
Yeah, I think that was Van Damme's first. Well, it was definitely his first villain role.
Well, he was in Breaking too.
I cannot get the image of him dancing
Fucking dude,
out of my head.
it was like, look at me. Look at me.
Here it is. No Retreat, No Surrender. Yep. Jean-Claude Goddamn Van Damme. I used to, man, it was so funny when Bloodsport came out. I would always do my Jean Damme impression.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for it?
That's good. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I saw it.
I've seen that so many times.
But he was. I was really impressed with his flexibility.
Yeah, and he was built, dude.
Oh,
He
yeah.
looked good. Like
Yeah.
total. Like there was Seagal, and it was like all the. You ever seen the show Twins? Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
And either guy, I can't remember how it goes. The doctor's trying to explain it. He goes, "Well, you guys are twin brothers." And he goes, "Well, what happened?" He goes, "Well, we took all of the good genes." And this is like fucking Van Damme and Seagal. We took all the good genes and we gave them to him. We took all the bad ones and we gave them to you. And that's kind of like at that time, you could say that they were twins because there was Van Damme who's like a specimen, right? Good looking, peeled, flexibility, looked strong, and he was a legit fighter too. There's a story online, and Stallone verifies it. So they were at Stallone's place in like Florida, somewhere, I think Miami, and he was having a party, and those two showed up, and they didn't like each other because they'd been talking smack. This is when they were in their prime, and Van Damme, Seagal shows up, and Van Damme's like, "Hey man, I heard you've been talking shit." He's like, "Let's go," because Van Damme was an actual kickboxer too,
Right?
And Seagal left. So I can't remember how the story goes, but Stallone was, yeah, that happened. He left the party, and Van Damme had a few more drinks and fucking went looking for him. Like got in his car, started following him, find out where he was at or something. Like Van Damme wanted to beat the shit out of him, but
Wow, what a paid money.
fuck, dude, can you imagine having that today? It'd be on YouTube.
Right. It'd be pay per view.
Yeah. What would
It'd be a Jake Paul fucking special.
Yeah. What movie was it where he goes, "I'm not fighting"? Yeah. Wasn't that Rocky? There's no money in it. No, that was I'm thinking Tombstone. Anyhow,
I don't know. Yeah, I can see the correlation there.
I'm going off, dude. And we better call it. I'm getting tired.
All right. Well, damn, it's been an hour and 37 minutes.
Wow.
Only the Strong. I need to look that up. I'm gonna look that up later. High tech and
Yeah.
and maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah, you're gonna be watching Space Ice.
yeah, I got my work cut out for me.
Yeah.
Apparently.
You'll be. I can't wait for the phone call. Holy shit! I watched every one of them. They're all funny.
I'll call you tonight at 2 when I'm done.
I'll have my phone off.
Well, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in and watching and participating in the chat room. It was a lot of fun. Totally didn't plan on going down the Steven Seagal route.
Here we go.
How much fun was it?
Yeah. So what are we talking about tonight, Ryan? Well, we're gonna be talking about you. You just went to Disney World or whatever it is. Next thing you know, we're on fucking Steven Seagal.
What a better way to end it, I can't think of.
Yeah.
I like too how he always try to talk so tough. Try to squint his eyes.
Oh, he covers all this, dude. It gets
Oh,
so good because everything he says, and he goes like, because he's always got hot women, and it's like he's like at the end of his money laundering scheme. By the way, it stops abruptly before COVID, and I think at that point he probably wanted to come back. I'm just guessing, by the way. I think he probably said, "I'd like to make a comeback. I think I still have it in me to make some good movies." And the production companies went, "We found someone else to launder our money, Steven."
Yeah, the only comeback that he's got is coming in the back of his throat.
For sure, dude.
Anyway, everybody, thanks for tuning in, watching, and we'll see you guys.
Later. Happy New Year.
I hope if I picked the wrong gosh darn music, but whatever.
Dude, I can't wait for you to watch that now. You're gonna love it.